If you've ever thought about taking a vacation to visit Dubai, in today's video, I'm gonna give you some tips on where to stay, how to plan your vacation, what to do, and generally just give you some tips that you wish you knew before actually coming to Dubai on your vacation. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Rasmus. I'm the owner of Minix, a performance marketing agency where we specialize in helping e-commerce brands grow through UGC videos and paid advertising. Also, if you end up liking this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. That will massively help me out. And if you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below because I read all the questions and comments in the comment section and I try to respond to all of them. So if you have any questions, after watching this video, feel free to just leave them down below and I'll make sure to answer you. But with that being said though, let's get straight into it. So there's 4 things I'm going to cover in this video. There's housing, there is transportation, there is restaurants, and then there's, activities, what else you can do besides just eating good food and having a good time. So housing. Now, you can obviously do one or two things. You can do hotels or you can do Airbnbs. Now, I personally prefer Airbnb when I'm traveling, but each to their own. But in terms of if you want to get an Airbnb, or generally where you want to stay is one of 2 places. There is the Marina/JBR area, or there is downtown. And depending on what location you go for, you get a sort of a different vibe. So if you go with downtown, you get more of a city vibe. You can kind of see that as going to New York. Like you have all these high-rising towers, the Burj Khalifa, a lot of life. If you like a city vacation where, maybe not as much beach activities and stuff like that, and that's the vibe you're going for, then I think downtown might be a much better option for you. Now, if you go to Marina, which is where I live, Marina/JBR, that's where, you're going for a very touristy or, very beach type of vibe for your vacation. So if you go to JBR specifically, in JBR, they have a long beach with, all sorts of beach clubs, beach restaurants where, you can chill out, have some good food, have some drinks. And the marina obviously is sort of its own little thing. You've probably seen pictures of it or videos of it online before. But yeah, the marina is basically just a man-made marina with a bunch of towers around it. But with the marina, there's sort of 2 places, because if you look at the map, it looks very small, but it's not. From the one end of the marina to the other end, it's almost 4.5 kilometers, which is quite long. It's definitely not just a walk. So if you want to locate yourself in the marina, which, personally, I think it's a great option. I had my family visiting a month ago and they stayed in the marina. Last time they visited, they were in JBR, which can be a little bit hectic just because there's a lot of tourists there and it can be quite hard to get a taxi out of JBR. Last time they were here, they lived in the marina, but there's 2 different sides to it. So if you go onto Google Maps, for example, you can type in, just for reference, you can type in Marina Gate, which is the area sort of where I live, or you can type in Blue Water Island, or you can type in 5242 on Google Maps, and that's sort of the other side of Dubai Marina. And that distance from Marina Gate to 5242 is around 4.5 kilometers, 4 kilometers. So just to make it clear, the area that you want to be in is around Marina Gate, and that's sort of end of the marina, because you just have a lot more restaurants, you have a lot more things to do, more people, compared to if you stay in, let's say, 5242, which is another building on the other end of the marina. There's not as much happening there, not as much life. You're a bit far away from everything unless you want to go to Blue Water Island. That's definitely convenient. But I will say, just, to have the best overall experience, I would probably say stay around Marina Gate and that end of the marina, because that's just going to be more enjoyable for you. Now, let's talk transport. So if I were you and I was planning on visiting Dubai for the first time, I would not recommend renting a car. I would simply just take a taxi everywhere, because first of all, the people on the road here, they drive like crazy people. A lot of Indians, a lot of Pakistani people here, and a lot of them, they don't have driving experience. I was just in a taxi the other day and the taxi driver told me, hey, just be careful whenever you get into a taxi nowadays, because 50% of everyone who drives a taxi nowadays don't have any formal driving experience. Literally what they do is they will get flown into Dubai to work for the taxi company and they will basically just get handed a driving license. So it can be quite chaotic on the road and people don't drive like you would expect. Like, it's very, very different. So I would say just take a taxi, because it's also dirt cheap. Like if you want to go for 20 minutes, it's like $10, maybe $15 to go for like a 30-minute ride. So like it's super easy. And so what you want to do is you want to download the app called Careem, Careem. If you don't want to, you know, try and haul a taxi just from wherever you are, or you can do Uber. So Careem or Uber, those are sort of your two main options when it comes to, you know, booking a taxi and getting somewhere. And then for data, to actually make sure that you can book your taxis now, obviously in every single restaurant or mall you're gonna be in, they will have Wi-Fi, but data generally is just good to have. What you wanna do is once you go through immigration in Dubai airport on DXB, you will ask the immigration officer to give you a SIM card if they don't do it automatically. Usually they just give it to you. And that will be from a company called Do. So once you have that Do SIM card, just slot it in, you have like a gigabyte for 24 hours. And then what you do is you download the Do app. And here you can basically just buy more data as you go. And that, you know, if you're staying here for a couple of days, you use a gigabyte like real quick. So I'll just download the Do app and then, you know, buy data as you kind of go, and then you can get a taxi everywhere you want to go. And that's just going to be much less stress for you than renting a car and having to drive around, because yeah, people here on the roads, as I said, they can be quite unpredictable. And I don't think, if you want to have the best vacation possible, it would not be the most pleasant experience for you to have to drive around everywhere. Yeah, just take a taxi. Now, in terms of restaurants, right, there's so many restaurants. So I'm not specifically going to give you any tips on that, because you can just go on Instagram, go on TikTok, go on Google, whatever, find, like, there's literally restaurants everywhere. So that I wouldn't be worried about. I would just give you one recommendation is if you stay in the marina or you plan on going to marina, what I've done with like basically every time my family has visited, or if I meet up with new people just coming to Dubai, what I always do is I take them first off to a place called Bar 44, which is in a hotel called Gross Wiener House. So go there first for like a pre-drink before dinner, and then go to a place called Toro Toro afterwards, because the thing is, Bar 44 and Toro Toro is right next to each other. It's like literally a 10-second walk, but it's a real, like, both places are super nice. Bar 44 is like a nice cocktail bar, good vibe. You get a good view over Dubai Eye, Blue Water Island. You get a good view over Dubai Marina. Generally just amazing place. And then afterwards you go to Toro Toro, which is like an Argentinian steakhouse. Amazing vibe, good food as well. And yeah, that combo in itself, like, I think is just unbeaten. So I would say if you do go to Dubai, definitely do those two back to back. Just go for a pre-drink in Bar 44, have a good view over Dubai, the marina, and then yeah, go to Toro Toro and have a nice steak afterwards. And then in terms of activities, right? Obviously Dubai's known for having loads of stuff to do. What we did last time my family visited is we had sort of planned one thing during the day. We would always play tennis at the morning, but we had one thing planned like during the day, and then one thing planned during the evening, usually some sort of restaurant. And a couple things I would recommend you do depending on how long you want to stay here. One thing, and this also depends on budget, but if you can afford it, I would seriously go to Sal at Burj Al Arab. Now that's like a very high-end restaurant slash beach club. So you can do one of the two things. You can just go for lunch. We did that the first time they were here, amazing. Or you can rent like a day bed or a sun bed, and then after that, you know, you stay there for a couple hours, you go to lunch, and then you can go back. And in itself, like, just visiting Burj Al Arab is an amazing experience. It's quite surreal walking through that place, because like there's just gold everywhere. So that's one thing I would do is Burj Al Arab. Either you can just go visit that, or go to Sal and have a lunch, or stay the entire day there. Second thing I would do is I would visit Nobu by the beach. I would either do the sunbeds as well, because it is in conjunction with a hotel, and they do have like a pool area, or just go for lunch. We did that. We went for lunch there because they close at 7 p.m. So you would naturally just go for lunch at Nobu, and specifically Nobu by the beach. Don't do Nobu Atlantis, do Nobu at Royal Atlantis, because it's two different vibes. Don't particularly like Nobu in Atlantis, just didn't hit the spot. But Nobu by the beach, it's like brand new hotel as well. And yeah, that's amazing. You can also, it's on the Palm, so there you can go to the beach before or after lunch, and you can kind of see the Palm, get the views in, soak the views in, the good vibes, and sort of see some of the villas that are there, because like the architecture there is just unreal. Another thing I would do if you have time is I would go for Top Golf. So you've probably seen that online, but yeah, it's basically just You're there for like an hour or two, hit some golf shots. It's amazing. You can get some food, you can get some drinks there. It's just generally a really good vibe. They have some good music. You don't have to book anything in advance. You just kind of show up, and then within 10 to 30 minutes, you just get allocated a booth, and then you hit a couple golf shots. But yeah, that's like an amazing experience. You can either do it during the day or during evening. I've only done it during evening, which is really fun, but yeah, I assume you can do it during the day as well. That also looks super fun. Another thing you can do is a day in the desert. I haven't done this personally, but I have a couple friends who's done it. So there's two variations you can do this, and you can just go on a website called, I think it's called viator.com. But there's two sort of models you can choose. There's either like you do an hour to two where you just kind of ride, an ATV and just kind of ride through the desert, or you can do like an entire day. So that's like an 8 to 12 hour, I think it's like an 8-hour event where you'll ride camels, ride boogies, ATVs, and they will have like a dinner. Then you also, I think there's something with a hawk. But yeah, that's like the full experience. I would probably go with the entire day option, because if you stay in the marina, at least from me, it's like an hour drive. So you are quite far away. So that's why like you don't want to drive an hour, spend an hour riding ATVs and then like go back. I would probably do the 8-hour one. But from what I've heard from friends, like it's amazing. It's really fun and it's cool just being in the desert. Really unique experience that you can't really get anywhere else unless you're in like Vegas or something. And you can go to the desert there. But yeah, that I've heard nothing but good things about. So would highly recommend doing that. Obviously, one thing you can do as well is rent a yacht. That's actually not that expensive. It's like less than $2,000, I think, if you want to go for like a 6 to 8 hour yacht ride. And then you can be like, I think 10 or 12 people on there. So like it's pretty affordable. And then you have a captain, you have crew. I think you do need to buy drinks. You can do that in Marina Mall, for example. But yeah, if you're in the marina, you can literally just go down onto the marina and there will be like so many people trying to get you to buy these things. Or you can just search on Google, rent a yacht, Dubai Marina. But yeah, it's not as expensive as you would think. You can get something really nice for not a lot of money. And yeah, it's a great experience just to kind of get some of that Dubai luxury feel. And yes, spend a day on a yacht. I mean, not a lot of people can get to do that, and it's more affordable than you would actually think. And then the last two things I have on my list here is just the classics. You need to visit Dubai Mall, the world's biggest shopping center, and then you need to visit Burj Khalifa and take the elevator to the 160 something floor, I think it is, just to kind of get that view and soak it all in. But that can be done in like an afternoon, or you can have lunch somewhere, go to Dubai Mall and go to Burj Khalifa, and then in Dubai Mall right outside of it you'll have a bunch of restaurants, and then you can sit and watch the fountain view while having dinner, for example. So that's another way to do it. But yeah, those things, depending on how long you stay here, that's some of the things I would try to check off on my list if I were you. And yeah, some good recommendations from what I've done with my family and sort of what I've done with friends visiting from the first time. And these are some of the things that I try to show them while they're in Dubai, so they can actually get some of that Dubai experience and see what it's all about. But yeah, that's pretty much sums up today's video. I hope you found some good value in it. If you are planning on taking a vacation to Dubai, I hope you can use some of this information for your own good. And yeah, if you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below. I'd love to answer. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. That would massively help me out. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.